Philip. It's not working yet because the settings. Oh god. Oh god, that got loud. You down, turn you up. Well, I'm not talking very loudly. How does it sound now? Should I turn the music down? I'm at my usual volume, so I assume I should just turn the music down. I mean the maximum and minimum volumes, not the... I mean the auto-duck. Philip is working. I turned them both down, so tell me how that is. Testing the pause setting, Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so let's see what we can do with the recapping here. I've got this replay scene feature. But it doesn't have everything, unfortunately. I don't have a save game close enough that I can replay it. So I'll have to just try and remember what happened last time and show the scenes that we can show. Probably Arc, because if I was gonna do a game with a lot of narration, I'd probably do Higurashi. But I don't feel like spending an hour describing cooking sushi and other similar cooking tips. Hi, Kitsune. Hello, Skull. Well, action-packed narration. Well, I mean, the other game that I would do if I was going to do something with tons of narration is Fate Stay Night, which has very action-packed narration. It's also got all the narration. It never stops. Yeah, also, hi, Ampelix. We should be finishing Contradiction tonight. I wanted to do a recap, though, because Hitbox did not record the last session, because Hitbox is a jerk. Speaking of which, after we're done with the recap, remind me to hit record, in case Hitbox doesn't record this. It almost always works, but it ate the final session of Hatoful, which I'm still really upset about. and the last session of Contradiction. So I wasn't able to figure out how ubiquitous even works in the first place, Kitsune. So thanks, Skull. That's exactly what my dad says every time I ask him to remind me of something. Congratulations, you are now my dad. Good job. I guess so. I didn't realize my dad was a skeleton, but, you know, sometimes you figure these things out later on in life. Well, the event just popped. Looks like quite a few people are here, so I suppose we are ready to start the recap. Okay, so is there no sound? There we go. Okay. I don't even know what euphoria is, Kitsune. It sounds euphoric, though, I guess. The game is not showing up because it does a weird thing where it doesn't show up until you uncheck the box and then recheck it in OBS, because I don't know why. So, so we're gonna have to piece together what happened last time on Contradiction, as we can look at our items and see everyone's responses, and we can also replay some but not all of the cutscenes. So, oh, there's the mirror room. Maybe we can replay all of the cutscenes, actually. No. No, because I don't see the one where Rebecca told Ryan to tell us something. Unless that's before here. No. Well, anyway, we met this Lisa lady.
Is it Lisa?
Yes.
Inspector Jenks, I'm investigating an incident in the village. I wonder if I could ask you a few questions.
What sort of incident?
I'd rather come in and discuss it if that's all right with you. I promise I won't take long. Thank you. I'll just go in here, yes?
I have to go out in a minute.
Oh, look, I can come back later.
I might not be here. What did you want to ask?
I just wanted to ask you, did you know Kate Vine?
No.
Right. Well, I heard that you're familiar with Atlas, the life skills training company.
What do you want to know about Atlas?
Well, I heard you reacted badly to it.
Of course I reacted badly. So would anyone.
Now, why do you say that?
Because they're devil worshippers.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
They're making demons appear. They're tricking everybody. They're getting people to join up, then they're putting demons inside them. You can see them.
See who?
Demons.
Where could you see them?
In the mirrors.
At Atlas.
Any mirror. You can't get rid of them.
Hi, Dithy. She does look kind of like her, yeah.
So, how did you get rid of them?
I didn't.
see them.
I just don't look. I put all the lights on. I make sure it's all bright. I put them on when I need to look in the mirror. If I make sure everything is bright, I just see myself without seeing the other person.
I should Photoshop one in and put it on YouTube. Well, we still don't know. There could be something to it because
Older.
James said that they were using mind control to turn them into
She's all
slaves.
wrinkled.
And she's saying they're putting demons in them to take control of them, which are both crazy
And she's
things,
dying.
but they're kind of similar. So I wonder if there's like some sort of truth to them in some manner.
I'm her.
Like, I don't think either of those are true, but
Not me anymore.
maybe there's something to that idea. Like, they might be indoctrinating them or, you know, just making them believe certain
I
things
have to go now. I'm
in
sorry.
order to be used for some end. I wonder if this game has a budget, or they just found a lot of people who wanted to be in a game. And were like, yeah, you can use my house. So, yeah, we met Lisa. And then we confronted Ryan about a few things. And also Paul. We confronted Ryan about one thing and Paul about 3 things.
So, you used to read a lot about voodoo and satanic rituals, but you don't know anything about devil worship?
Well, obviously, I just meant we don't worship the devil. We're not devil worshippers here at Atlas, Inspector. Ridiculous.
But the point is, Ryan, that you claim not to know anything about it, but admitted you were obsessed with it when you were younger. Are you sure none of that made its way onto the Atlas course? And that Lisa isn't basing her beliefs on anything within that course?
Lisa isn't basing her beliefs on anything other than her own imagination, Inspector.
It's just casual, Dithy. It's
Use
nothing
the Some
serious.
students find...
Wouldn't call it
disturbing.
worship.
We encourage them to see things differently, that's all. And some people simply aren't up to that. Some people, like Lisa, that's why we introduced the aptitude test.
What's the aptitude?
Oh no, the acting is way too good for them to all be non-actors. They're at least amateur actors. I'm just wondering if like some of them were
Students to
just people who
medical
accepted a small paycheck because they were excited about the project.
past any medication that
Like,
they...
if someone approached me, or like, well, I was at Emerson, that kind of thing would happen. Like, they'd approach us and be like,
Basically,
we're doing this thing, and we really can't pay you much, but if you like the project, we'd love to have you.
Can I keep a copy of this?
Alright, so we got that thing from Ryan, and then we confronted Paul about some contradictions.
So nobody has ever been affected by auto-hypnosis, except Lisa.
Hypnosis wasn't the problem, Inspector. Lisa was the problem with Lisa. That's why...
Whoever wants to see Jerry's skull?
Hypnosis was the trigger, wasn't it?
Lisa arrived on the course believing we were all devil worshippers. She was nuts to start with. We didn't make her like that.
Well, as far as I can tell, Paul, you've had one student accuse you of devil worship and 2 others commit suicide. Some of your students aren't having a very good time on this course, are they?
Nonsense. Kate was enjoying every minute of it. She couldn't get enough of it.
Really?
She was full of the joys of life. Bubbly, confident, flirty.
With who?
You mean with whom?
With whom?
Pretty much everybody. Including me, as I remember.
Really? And, did you respond?
I don't get into relationships with students, Inspector. Company policy. It's not professional.
So, of course, we called him out on the whole not getting involved with students thing.
You say you didn't know Emma,
But we did this first.
bought her a freedom necklace.
I don't remember saying anything about buying Emma a necklace.
So you didn't buy her one? So you did buy her one. So that means you
does
must have
not
known
work.
her. And quite well, too.
Stop making such a big thing about this, Inspector. Look, I've been around a few years. The clock is ticking. And I admit I have an embarrassing weakness for attractive women. It was a stupid mistake.
This actor does such a good job of creeping the fuck out of me.
So you're saying you tried it on with her?
No, I didn't try it on. I bought her a necklace. I'm not aware that there's a law against buying presents unless, of course, the Third Reich has been elected while I was at a bridge party.
It's those bridge parties you gotta watch out for. They're the most likely time that the Third Reich will be elected.
But she decided that she didn't want to be bothered with an old fool like me, so nothing happened, no mistakes, nobody got hurt. All right.
Alright, then we confronted him about the student
So
thing.
you avoid relationships with students, except for Emma, who you tried to date.
Oh, come on, Inspector, that was a long time ago.
And what about Kate Vine? Did you try to date her or not?
Oh, don't be so ridiculous, Inspector. Kate was an exceptionally clever girl. She knew exactly what she wanted, and she knew how to get it.
You mean that Kate approached you?
It wouldn't surprise me if she was playing everyone in the group. Kate had more enemies than you'd think. She was a very, very manipulative young woman.
I'm assuming the volume is good, by the way. Let me know if I should lower or raise anything. So at that point, this is the cutscene I can't find. I'm not sure why they don't let you replay this one. But at that point, we went back to the bar and we saw Ryan and Rebecca having a conversation. And she was telling him, it's probably a problem on your end, Dithy. Hitbox has been doing it for a few weeks now. If you have the mobile app, I recommend switching to that. It's a little bit further behind, but it solves that issue, if that is the issue that you're having. So it's usually it starts off with the volume fine, and then it's dropping frames. Then the volume starts, the sound starts cutting out too, and it gets worse and worse. Anyway, so Rebecca and Ryan were talking in the pub, and Rebecca was trying to encourage Ryan to tell us something. And he didn't seem to want to do that. And then we interrupted, so we don't actually know what it was she wanted him to tell us. But then after that, we were able to open a cabinet in the pub, and this happened. So we saw that Rebecca had medication in there. We questioned her about it. We found out it was morphine, which apparently is not for her. It's actually for Ryan. It's apparently for his arthritis, but she's the one who picks it up. Is what she told us. And oh yeah, when during the Ryan Rebecca scene, which wonder why we can't watch that. She mentioned whatever it was she wanted Ryan to tell us had something to do with Simon. So after that, we went over to talk to Simon, and we got this cutscene. Jenks put everything into stealth and charisma. So then we talked to Simon, and we spotted a contradiction.
So the bike's the only way you can get to work, yes?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the car?
I can't drive the car yet, can I? I don't have my license.
Right.
I got a windfall from an insurance payout. Just figured I'd buy something sensible with it straight away instead of wasting the money.
What was the insurance payout?
It was for a laptop that got stolen down at Atlas.
At Atlas?
Well, they didn't break in. I think they just walked in and took it. The laptop was in a storeroom, but I think the lock was broken, to be honest.
Doesn't sound like they're taking their security very seriously.
Actually, it got a lot better after that.
I think I'll check it anyway.
By the way, the thing that that Simon dropped, he dropped a business card which had a number on the back, and he said we could keep it. He didn't need it. It was a PIN number for something, but he remembers it, so he doesn't need the card. We can totally keep it, whatever. And he also dropped his key to his new car, which is why we were talking about a car there. Anyway, then we went to talk to Rebecca about the morphine.
So, you don't take any medicines except for prescription painkillers.
Well, they're not actually for me, they're Ryan's. For some reason, the chemist always makes them out to my name. He's an old gentleman.
Does Ryan need prescription painkillers?
Yes, he's got arthritis.
Really? He's young to suffer from that, isn't he?
He doesn't have it badly, but he does need medication from time to time.
What medicine is it?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Ryan will know.
So then we confronted Ryan about 2 contradictions.
So, you don't keep any medicines on site at Atlas?
No.
Except your prescription painkillers.
Well, these are not available to the students.
But they are kept on site.
Yes, but they're locked away. They're kept in the storeroom. Nobody would have access to them.
You're sure about that?
Absolutely sure.
What are the painkillers, Ryan?
Painkillers. Just painkillers. Normal painkillers.
Paracetamol, codeine, morphine.
Well, all right, they're morphine tablets, yes.
Now, morphine is relevant because Kate was found, when she was found dead, she had morphine in her system.
Have access to them.
Because they're in the storeroom.
Well, not just that. She wouldn't have even known about them or where they were.
Sure about that?
Yes.
So the storeroom isn't particularly secure, yet you keep your morphine tablets in there. I thought you said no one could get access to the morphine, but they could, quite easily, couldn't they, Ryan?
I didn't mean that.
Couldn't they, Ryan?
Storeroom. I keep them in there.
Okay, so where was it locked up?
It's upstairs. It's got a combination lock on it. Nobody could have access to it except me and Dad.
I love it. They're just trying to out-ham each other, and it's so good.
Mind at all.
They're in a ham battle. It's great. I do care to see that skull. Sure. I guess I can look at it now. So from there we went upstairs to the place where he said he stores this. And we used the number on the back of the card that Simon dropped. Not posting things. Well, there we go. You can see it on the stream there. Looks very good, Skull. So we got into the room with the number from the back of the card we got from Simon. And this is what happened.
Welcome to the Mirror Room. This exercise is all about identifying the difference between
I feel like I should be
the
high
image
for this part.
to the world and one's real self, which lies deep in our unconscious. As you move through the network of mirrors, practice seeing yourself as a stranger. The more you separate from your persona, the more aware you will become of your true desire.
I am you, thou art I.
Thus, I am free from my image. I am free from my past.
I am you, thou art I. I am you, thou art I.
From my past, I am free from myself. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free
This exercise involves the use of liberation masks. You have now completed Module 1. Module 2 covers barrier
Yeah, Jenks just passed the saving throw, that's all.
and extreme testing. Please read the notes carefully before attempting the module.
The stereo definitely deflates the atmosphere. It's pretty funny when he goes over to it and changes the track, and it's like, oh, it's just a CD. Oh, okay. So then we went back to talk with Simon about just why he had the number to get into this room.
So you didn't know the combination to the locked mirror room?
Nope.
Except you'd written it down, hadn't you? This is the combination to the mirror room, Simon, that you wrote. It isn't a pin, it's a combination.
Yeah.
You see, this sort of thing makes me suspicious, Simon. What were you doing in there that you didn't want anyone, including me, to find out?
It's just part of the course, isn't it? I just wanted to go in there when I was ready.
On your own? You didn't give the number to anyone else?
No.
Simon, there was morphine kept in that room that might have played a part in Kate Vine's death. Did Kate have the number?
Yes, okay. We both went in.
Together?
We were trying to outdo each other. We both tried to morph in.
What do you mean trying to outdo each other?
It's part of the course. To see how far you can push yourself. To see if you could do something you wouldn't normally do.
When was this?
A few months ago?
How often did you try it?
Only that once. I'd never do it again.
How about Kate?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I think the one thing that we can conclusively say at this point in the game is that Atlas is a terrible thing and it's very fucked up. So after that we were near James's place and we saw this. Honestly, it's not very surprising. We know James deals salvia, which is weird because salvia is legal and you can get it on the internet, but nonetheless, probably a drug deal going on there. Yes, there is a blue filter. This game does not have all of the budget. We also got this scene, which we actually could have gotten at any point in the game, but I never investigated it until then. This is the town hall where Third Eye used to meet, Third Eye being the original form of Atlas. There's also this that we saw. And this sure was something.
Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Yeah, no, me too, Amplix. I definitely flinch every time I see that.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out. Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you? It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Pretty sure one of these guys is the one who mugged
Rush
us.
commitments.
I'm not sure which one, though.
Well, well.
By the power of Ayn Randian libertarianism, disappear now!
No.
finally, we got this scene. This is where we left things. As we opened up Ryan's car. And found this. How Jenks knew to look at that envelope specifically, I do not know. But apparently, Ryan was paying Kate £500 for something. We also had a few calls with the chief. You can't go wrong with the chief.
Go on, Jenks.
Chief, so Paul admitted that they made a few changes because of Lisa's reaction to the course, but he wasn't giving anything away. They're still all denying the devil worship. Oh, and he mentioned that Kate had flirted with him.
How old is he?
Well, he suspected she was gold digging. Says he turned her down anyway. Says he doesn't get involved with students.
Well, I wouldn't take Paul Rand's word for that. Are you sure it wasn't him trying it on with Kate?
I can try to find out.
Do that, and make sure he hasn't tried it on with anyone else either. He's a smooth operator by the sound of it, Jenks. The worst kind.
Okay, thanks, Chief. I'll call later.
I mean, it was all one shot skull. They didn't cut, but we can. I mean, that can be our headcanon, sure.
Carry on, Jenks.
Not much else has happened, except I found out that Simon Thompson owns a car, which he...
Yeah, that's not a fedora.
That's what I thought.
Anything else?
I'm afraid that's all I've got at the moment.
Well, keep going, Jenks. Go and quiz Thompson about that car, will you?
Will do, Chief.
Right.
It's a much cooler hat than a fedora. Chief is just exasperated because they've all been up all night because they have to solve this by midnight.
Any news, Jenks?
Made a bit of a discovery at the pub, Chief. Apparently Rebecca takes what I think...
Also, he seems to have a cold.
She had some on prescription in a cupboard at the pub.
And what did she say about that?
Well, I couldn't make her out, to be honest, but she didn't admit it was morphine. And I saw Ryan taking something from the cupboard too. Didn't see what it was, though.
It could have been the same thing. Well, check it out and get back to me, will you?
Certainly will. Speak later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Alright, I think that is actually going to be it for the recap. Obviously, there's some more that we missed, but I'm not sure how to replay that, so... I've hit the record button. Thanks for reminding me. And let's do it! What are we doing? Yep. Let's just go talk... Let's check James first. See if we can get anything from him, and then we'll go to everyone and ask them about everything, because I think we have a few things that we have not asked about. I talked to James, but I think the box, he may have put the boxes somewhere. You know, we never did find anything in here. Yes, I hit the record button. This is new stuff. Okay, no, there's still nothing in there, but we can check the other greenhouse. Yep.
So James is interested in poppy pods, is he?
Oh my. That is way worse than salvia and weed, gotta say. I mean, unless he's making bagels. He could just be making bagels, guys. Let's not jump to conclusions. What the hell is a poppy pod? It's used to make opium, and also it's what you get poppy seeds from if you've ever had a poppy seed bagel.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. What can you tell me about several boxes of dried poppy pods in the greenhouse back there?
Feel free to take some if you want.
What are they for, James?
Decoration? Why?
Decoration.
There's a big market for them among the over 70s.
So what are you doing with them?
Selling
You can do better than that,
Okay,
James.
Let's just cut to the chase. Are you extracting opium from them?
Me? I can honestly say I've never done anything like that, Inspector.
Sure about that.
Scout's honour.
And who was the guy delivering them?
A friend. Someone gave them to him. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I'd have a look and see if I liked them.
You just thought you'd have a look? No particular reason?
I'm a plant scientist, that's what I do.
Have you ever sold them to anyone else?
I only got them a few minutes ago.
In the past. You know Kate's body had opium in the blood when it was found?
No.
Opium and morphine.
Hey, that's nothing to do with me.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. James, as we know, not very good at lying. So, yeah, he is obviously lying. Exactly what he's lying about, we're not sure of yet. But perhaps we can ask other people. They might know. I mean, we know, yeah, I mean, he probably sold it, but, you know, it's not quite relevant to the case, I guess.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a cheque for £500?
Well, we'll just ask everyone, Admiral.
Really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
You better ask him.
You think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
I like how no one is like, what were you doing in my son's car? Like, no one ever points out that Jinx broke into these places. I don't think she was blonde. Yeah, that's... I mean, maybe she dyed her hair? Or maybe Paul is getting her confused with someone else. Yeah, knows Ryan was interested in blondes. Kate's not blonde. How do we point that out, though? I don't see anything about her hair color here. That's the closest thing, is only met her a few times. I guess we can also try possibly spoke to her? No. Well, maybe that's a contradiction for the future. Let's ask about the poppies.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pod?
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
No.
No. I mean, driver's license is... just said he didn't see the driver's license and didn't know if she'd lost it. That doesn't really...
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
No, because they put it there as one of the items. So it definitely means something. But yeah, let's talk to Rebecca.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, she never actually shows up. It's just a picture, so they could have easily photoshopped.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
Admiral, if you've got a phone or a tablet, I recommend switching to the Hitbox app, and that should work. A lot of people have been having that problem.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Assuming Admiral can hear me, if anyone else wants to relay that information. Oh, okay, you got it? It's a little bit further behind than the desktop, but it is much more consistent. And whatever this problem that's been happening for the past few weeks is, it does not have that problem. Well, I'm assuming you can connect your phone to Wi-Fi, Kitsune.
A few more questions, please. Thank you. Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in, for opium? No. Though James did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? But I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so...
Well then, James once drank opium tea. That's interesting.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know, Ark. I feel like that's a weird little mistake. It must come up or something.
Strange question. Have you ever known of anyone selling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? Don't think so. Isn't that opium?
Kind of. It's okay.
We can't ask Emma about this? Okay, weird. I thought she would have something
Probably
to
be back
say
later.
about the check, but I guess not. Well, we'll find out. This is going to be the last session, even if I got to stay up a bit late. We're too close to the end to stop now. Let's talk to Ryan.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Yeah, it's also possible. I heard the end was rushed. They kind of ran out of time, so that would probably be the most likely explanation.
Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just...
Yes, and money.
Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't
Nope,
any
not
other...
going to ask it, Apolix.
This personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
Why were you in my car, Inspector Jenks? Would be a reasonable question to ask, Ryan.
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods? Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter.
I think Razia was being sarcastic, Ampelix. I mean, because this is not America. In America, you risk death, especially if you're black. But in England, regular cops don't carry guns, so you're probably okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Hey, hint button. What do we do next? Call the chief! Something I would not have guessed to do, because, I mean... It's one thing I wish Jenks would go, hey, maybe I should check in with the chief or something. I know there's a hint button, but, you know.
Got something interesting, Jenks?
Very much so, sir. An interesting discovery in Ryan's car. A cheque for £500 from Ryan made out to Kate.
Blimey, how does he explain that?
He said it was an incentive. Apparently he'd heard she was thinking of leaving the course.
What made her so special that they were willing to pay her to stay?
Just a good student, I suppose.
Nah, doesn't add up. £500 is a lot more than an incentive, Jenks. You can buy questions in Parliament for that kind of money. Sounds pretty desperate. Keep on her, Ryan, about it. Oh, and get yourself another drink.
Another drink. Thanks, Chief.
I'm having one. Bye.
I love you, Chief. There must be a contradiction somewhere, apparently. I feel like James is kind of this... Maybe we can get something out of James?
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Selling the pods to pensioners. Never extracted opium. Used for decoration. Pods from a friend who didn't want them. See if we can find anything that contradicts with that. Trained his herbal tea for Simon's homebrew. I wonder if his herbal tea was the opium tea that Simon mentioned. We don't actually have a thing to use to point out that contradiction, though. Because that was something Simon said, not James. Doesn't grow any other drugs. Well, it's not like you grew the poppies, so... Maybe Epilix. After I look through James' stuff, we'll try that. I don't remember if Simon had a statement about tea or not. It doesn't look like we really got anything here, so let's go talk to
That's all for the
Simon.
moment. Thank you.
Well, he could have made non-opium tea also. It's suspicious, obviously, but it's not like it's definitive. Well, it just... Honestly, the only thing we know for sure is salvia, and salvia is legal. Now, the fact that he got a bunch of poppy pods is really suspicious, but it's not opium yet.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about him getting herbal tea from James. Yeah, good point, Dithy. That is also an opioid. And the button's not working.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
So we have to leave and come back, and then the button should work. Don't know why the game does that sometimes.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
There we go.
You and Kate took morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
We weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go on.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
Prime candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
Well, this is interesting.
But you do it in pairs. one person's the tester, it's me, and the other person's the...
Victim?
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing.
Mm-hmm. Completely
Ryan
consensual.
wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear.
Yeah, it's the old just following orders argument.
Seem to have this all neatly worked out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate?
Yeah, but the question is, Jenks, why?
Thank you. Probably be back later.
What are they actually trying to accomplish, and what does prime candidate really mean?
Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they picked Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
Simon's just got too many morals. Huh. Interesting. Well, we've got quite a few people to ask about this whole prime candidate thing. I suppose we should start with Ryan.
A few more questions, please. Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime candidates are simply the best students, the ones with the most potential.
And what benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Yeah, Ambulix.
Well,
it is suspicious.
Deal with various multinationals. We
Candidate for what?
Truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It seems a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives. More than I.
It wasn't me. It was Simon. Look at him, not me. Look at him.
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to
decide.
Hi,
KB. Well then. That was certainly interesting.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Yes, that is what the Manchurian Candidate is about. Well, I mean, that's the basic premise, is a presidential candidate who is hypnotized and once he became president would actually be working for another country.
Ask you a couple more things, please. What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
Success. We have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
Interesting.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Well, we still have more people to talk to. Well, in America, it's legal. I mean, companies can just give all the fucking money they want to anything, and it's fine, so. But this doesn't take place in America, so you're right. That is kind of weird.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas, it's the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
What happens then?
They get sacked.
Okay. There's apparently lots of failed prime candidates.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
I mean, I think he felt okay talking about it because compared to some of the other shit going on here or the other possibilities, it is less shady. James, you got anything for us?
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Nope, James does not have
Okay,
anything
that's
for
it.
us.
Thank you.
Call the chief! Again. No way to know that. I guess when I don't know what to do, I should just call the chief.
Jenks, tell me what you know first, but this time I've got something to tell you.
Really? Well, what I found out is that Simon was asked by Ryan to test Kate to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate.
Prime what?
Prime candidate. It's the best of the bunch. The best Atlas student. The prime candidate gets an instant job on a fantastic salary as soon as they leave the course.
Yeah, there's a lot of improvements they can make, Tithy, but I really like the game.
Well, that's very interesting. I'll tell you what I know, shall I? That name they used to trade under, Third Eye. Turns out they were investigated 3 years ago over an allegation of physical
Ooh,
abuse.
puncture marks.
Witness had puncture marks through both her hands.
And Atlas weren't charged?
There was nothing to charge them with. The witness inflicted the wounds herself. Witness said it was something called threshold testing, whatever that means. Go figure, as I say in America.
Can I ask the Rands about this?
Well,
Go figure.
Do anything and it'll just put them on the defensive. Just keep chipping away at them. Try and find out what this testing involves. That's the best thing. Get something on them and you'll be in a better position.
Right. Thank you, Chief.
Nearly there, Jenks.
Nearly there. I mean, there must be a contradiction somewhere. I feel like we had Ryan on the ropes about something, so let's see if we can't find a contradiction with him.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
And it's probably got something to do with the prime candidate thing. I have an idea. No, the button.
Thank you.
Button's not working again. Gotta leave and come back. And no, my idea was nothing.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
I would say most of the contradictions have come from Ryan, yeah. Students aren't tested. There's gotta be a contradiction with that somewhere. I mean, there's an aptitude test. I don't think that counts. That's not the kind of testing he was talking about. Yeah, Lisa's accusation. We can try it. I mean, he denied that in the first place, though. Yeah. Because he said she's just completely incredible and she was making it up, so we can't use it as a contradiction because he says it's not true. Yeah. Where's the, check. No, I'm not seeing any two that can be used there. I mean, maybe Razio. I mean, it is the word test. Gotta try it. Yeah, no. Something from with Third Eye? Maybe Liam? Something about Liam? Students aren't bribed or coerced with the check. Good point. Auto-hypnosis, where are you? There it is. Students aren't coerced or bribed in any way. There we go. That would do it.
So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector.
I mean, it's only the definition of it.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
That makes it a test.
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay...
He is definitely cracking.
We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money from Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else?
I was expecting to get a thing about testing so we could match that with students aren't tested, but it didn't actually add anything to the... Oh, was it added to the aptitude test instead? Not the aptitude test, the auto-hypnosis. Yes, it was. There we are.
Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because...
This is the best ham ever.
wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So, Kate...
Oh my god, he just threw water!
Yes!
And did you ask Simon
Oh,
to
this
test...
is like Phoenix Wright.
But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference.
Oh my god, this is so good.
If he decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
That was awesome! Oh, man.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed.
I was gonna say, Jenks.
Suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much.
I think so, Jenks. I think yes. Alright, we got Kate's Prime status as a new thing. So I guess let's ask people about that. Oh, we asked him about the morphine way back, Kitsune.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
That was in the last session. We asked him about morphine.
Did you know Kate Vine was a prime candidate?
No.
Okay, simple answer for a simple question.
Probably be back later. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Was Kate a prime candidate?
Well, as Ryan has probably already told you, yes, she was.
Did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, it's company policy. Leaders don't get involved.
And it covers your back, of course.
Well, nobody knows the students better than they do, Inspector. It's much better to let them just work it out among themselves.
Paul hates everything.
Students to test each other to the point where one of them gets killed, Paul.
We don't force students to do anything that they don't want to do, Inspector.
So you don't force them into being tested?
No, we don't encourage anybody to hurt or offend anybody else here.
I guess they're both
testing, for instance.
No.
Not very good people.
Too far with Kate, that's his responsibility, not ours. He's the one you should be speaking to, if truth be told. I don't trust him myself.
And I feel like you and your son are trying to pin things on him, to be honest. Although I don't know how much I trust him either, but still.
That's all for the moment, thank you. Ask about a few more things, please.
I wonder if this is like a Twin Peaks thing where it doesn't matter how she was murdered. It's really just
That's okay.
about revealing the shady things going on in this small town. A missable contradiction with Paul. Well, if it's missable, then tell me about it, because I don't want to miss it. Yeah, it could also be that, Cake.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Alright, I'll do that after I talk to Simon and Emma.
How do you think you'd have reacted if you'd found out that Kate had been chosen to be prime candidate?
Is that... was she?
I'm just asking how you think you'd react.
I don't know. I wouldn't react in any way, really. I'm not bothered.
I'm not
Don't think
bothered.
she was, though.
What makes you think
I'm not bothered.
But it's just an impression I got. You know, she's a bit flaky, to be honest. It's just not really prime candidate material.
Okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
I think the CD probably said something about threshold testing when we were in the mirror room.
Do you know whether Kate was in the running to be prime candidate or not?
I don't, but I do think she would have been chosen just because she was, you know, Kate.
You didn't discuss it with Kate?
No. No, she never talked about this.
Okay.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Let's see this missable scene.
Questions, please.
What is it under? Mirror room? Yep.
You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul, because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
But if you really want to know, 50 grand.
She was worth 50 grand?
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
Wow, this was missable?
Employees.
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap. What we look for is people with ambition, no ethics, push, greed is good, all right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest. That's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow. Except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
This is disturbingly realistic.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're gonna have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
I like that this is in the context of a real world, though. It's not like, oh, in fantasy world, the villain uses that logic. Because people use that logic in the real world.
Shut the gate on your way out.
Like, Wall Street actually hires people on purpose, like, who do not are less ethical and more ambitious and all of that stuff.
Get rid of him. He's a policeman. We can't just... We saw this.
Oh dear.
And we sorted it tonight.
Jenks, I think it's time to call him back up. I'm gonna go call the chief. I think we need some backup.
That doesn't sound good. Two totally morally bankrupt men are plotting to get rid of me. It's midnight. I don't have any backup and I don't even have a mobile phone. This is potentially quite bad. And what's Kyle got to do with it? I think I might make my way over to Atlas while Ryan isn't there. Maybe lock myself in.
The real question, though, Jenks, is why don't you have a mobile phone? Hello? Back up? Hello? No, plot isn't gonna let me do that. We're on plot rails. Alright.
Damn. I suppose it was too much to hope that Ryan had left the place open.
Because it's England, Razia. Regular cops don't have guns. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, good. They're gonna kill someone.
Prove to me that you're man enough to do this, Kyle, and then you can deal with that ridiculous police inspector.
What is this? What the hell? Scotland Yard, not hell. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Inspector. What are you doing here?
Inspecting. So, come on. Let's have it.
Yeah, clearly not Ark. That's okay.
The best thing that you can do is turn around, go away, and leave us to it.
Knife. What? That knife gives me a perfect right to stick my nose in, investigate, and interfere.
This is all part of the Atlas course. It's a physical endurance exercise.
Yeah, I don't think so this time, Ryan.
The knife, Kyle.
Kyle.
Drop it!
Drop it.
Okay, now Jenks has a knife.
Not looking 100% brilliant for you, Ryan.
Well, please, Inspector, you've poked your nose into Atlas's affairs enough times to know that imaginative flair is part of the course's success. Our lessons are reinforced by a unique emotional experience.
Terror?
The lady's gonna kill him.
It's an extremely evocative tool.
Well, it's a good job you're not in charge of the national curriculum.
Now look, Inspector, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're thinking. But believe me, Atlas had nothing to do with the deaths of those people.
Eyewitness account.
You really think you can still talk your way out of this, dude?
What we call circumstantial evidence, Ryan.
Simon. Now, I saw Simon walking home with Kate last Friday after the meeting. Now, Simon had some strange idea that he was in the running to become prime candidate. Well, a knob of butter has more chance of becoming prime minister. Oh, wait.
So are you telling me that
Simon killed her? Well, it seems reasonable. It's likely, isn't it?
any more likely than you, Ryan? Pig!
Thank you, Jenks.
Police brutality.
Thank you.
It's all right. You okay?
And she just walks off? We don't even find out who that is? Well, was a sweet cape. I guess we should talk to Simon.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
I think this is what they meant by the end being rushed, because this does feel rushed.
What would you say if I said it's been suggested that you were seen walking home with Kate after Atlas last Friday?
What? By who?
The same person who suggested that you wanted Kate out of the picture because you found out she was in the running to be prime candidate.
Who said that?
Just a question.
I didn't think I was in the running. It was Ryan, wasn't it?
I am in no position to say.
It was Ryan.
Simon, calm down.
No, I can prove it. Kate's driving license, give it to me.
Why?
Kate's driving license, please. See that pattern on the tape there? Let me show you something. See this pattern? Now look at that. It's the same pattern. This has come from the same roll of tape as this.
So?
So there's only one person has tape like that. Ryan. He gave me this piece of tape when I was in his office once. Why has Kate's driving license got a piece of Ryan's tape on it?
I have no idea, Simon.
Where did you find it?
Oh, by the lake.
It's obvious, isn't it? Ryan was testing her. He was doing a boundary test to see how much she would do, how far she would go to be a prime candidate. But it all went wrong. Okay. It's one of the things we do at the course, right? You give something that's important to you to someone else, then they go and hide it somewhere. It's to teach you to not be bothered when you lose something that's important to you, all right? Kate gives her driving license to Ryan. Ryan goes and hides it somewhere down the lake. Kate finds out. She goes down looking for it, probably drunk.
Yeah, there's a lot of sparing others in the subtitles.
I'm afraid I find that a bit far-fetched, Simon.
It makes perfect sense if you know anything at all about how Atlas works.
But Simon, if you got the tape from Ryan, Kate could have got it from him.
He told me he doesn't lend it out.
He lent it to you.
But I didn't kill her! Do a lab test on the card. His DNA will be all over it.
It was all of them, wasn't it?
Yours is all over it.
It won't be. I didn't kill her. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I need some painkillers.
Thought you didn't take those. Is he running? I think he's running. Yeah, he just got in his car and drove away. I can't believe that...
Did he go in such a hurry? Is he trying to act as suspiciously as possible?
I can't believe that Ryan didn't do it, though. Like, so it has to be everyone. Okay, nothing that way. Guess let's head in the other direction. Nothing there. I guess we can go in the pub. Hey, any of you guys seen Simon? Hey, Rebecca, you seen Simon?
If you don't mind. Have you seen patterned tape like this anywhere before?
Oh, Ryan's got
Oh
some.
yeah, Emma might still be there.
When was that?
A couple of months ago?
Have you still got it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it since then.
Okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Yeah, let's see if Emma is there. No, they're dating.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
So, your boyfriend ran away.
Did Simon mention walking home with anyone after the meeting last Friday?
No, he just came home. Why?
He didn't mention walking home with Kate.
No, definitely not.
Have you seen this anywhere before?
I've seen it somewhere, but can't remember. Sorry, no.
Alright, looks like she does not really have
that's all for
anything
now.
for us. We can't talk to Paul anymore. Hey, James.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Do you know how well Simon knew Kate?
Not really.
Did you ever see them together?
So why? Do you think he killed her?
I've no idea. Do you think he'd be capable of that?
Do you think we're all capable of it?
No, I don't.
Sure. So you've never been in your police car responding to an incident, driven past a school at high speed?
Don't know. Maybe.
Well, you've answered your own question then. When you've got a need and things get in your way, it's human nature to either ignore them or get rid of them. Any way you can. That's all murder is, isn't it?
Maybe you're right.
James the philosopher.
Ever seen tape like this anywhere before?
No.
Does not recognize the tape.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Well, maybe the chief will pick up now? All right.
Just as it gets to the good bit, great. Go on, Jenks.
So, where to start? Paul admitted that they do use threshold testing. Apparently they get a wedge of cash from various companies in exchange for each prime candidate they produce.
Interesting.
Also, I met Ryan and some of his friends in the woods in the middle of some sort of occult ceremony. I have no
You're not going to
idea
mention
what
them plotting to kill you, Jenks?
insisted that Simon walked Kate home after the meeting last Friday. He's claiming Simon killed her.
And what does Simon say?
He doesn't agree, not surprisingly. He says it was Ryan, because of something to do with a piece of tape stuck to Kate's driving license, which Simon claims belonged to Ryan. Claims it was Ryan who was testing Kate by sticking the driving license to a tree in the woods in the dark and telling Kate to get it, knowing she'd fall in. And no, before you ask, it doesn't make any sense to me either.
Right, so basically Simon says Ryan was testing her and Ryan says Simon was testing her. Well, either one of them is lying or neither of them are. And nobody was testing anybody.
I suppose that's always a possibility.
Wouldn't surprise me, Jenks. Well, I don't know. I can't help you. But you're as close as you're going to get. Just check everything that everyone's said. Go through everyone's statements. The answer's in there somewhere. Call me back when there's some good news, eh? Preferably a confession.
Well, if I can get one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chief.
Good night.
Also, they're plotting to kill me. Please send backup. What the hell, Jenks? I'll be right back. Just like 30 seconds or so, not long. Okay, so let's look at what you guys said while I was gone first off. Well, yeah, he was gonna get Kyle to kill us, but does Kyle really not have another knife? I mean, at least Jinx has a knife now. Well, we're at 98% progress, so there must be a contradiction somewhere. But where? I feel like we never did anything with the poppies, which would make me think maybe there's something we can do with James, but I can't think of what. Yeah, we can't talk to Simon. He booked it. We can't talk to Ryan and Paul right now. So that leaves us with Rebecca, Emma, and James. And we haven't nailed Rebecca on much at all, honestly. I wonder if there's something we can get from her. Perhaps she is the true mastermind. She would have access to stationery. And I think she knows enough about what's going on to be in on it.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
I'll let you guys think for a second. I will be right back, much faster than last time. And I'm back. I've got coffee. It's not giving me much. It's just a little swirl. I mean, maybe it's a Dreamcast symbol. It's definitely not an F and a K. So I don't think we'll be able to solve this with the coffee, but yeah, the pattern sticky tape's got to be involved, right? I mean, what contradiction would there be with Ryan had it? It could be last saw the tape approximately 2 months ago? What would that conflict with? Hasn't seen the license before? Well, maybe she hasn't, but she saw the tape. I don't know. When did Simon receive the letter? I don't know. It's not in our inventory. When did Kate die? I don't remember, but we don't have anything that mentions that anyway. Last Saturday morning? Alright. About a week ago. We know she knows about drugs. Wonder if she's related. She's got something to do with the poppies and the opium. This is a real head scratcher, guys. Says she doesn't know anything about the mirror room. Doesn't know much about poppy pods. Does that conflict with anything? Because we've seen that she's fairly knowledgeable about drugs. I mean, this is a super long shot, obviously. Yeah, didn't think so. Well, we'll have to keep thinking about Rebecca.
Thank you.
I guess we'll check in with James. Actually, I wonder if Lisa's home. Nope.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Wonder who the friend was who didn't want them. Maybe they were trying to get rid of evidence. If, you know, if James is actually telling the truth about that. Thinks everyone is capable of murder. I mean, that's one of the few new things we have about James. Wonder if that conflicts with something? No, he thinks it's human nature. He didn't say whether he thought it was right or not. He didn't say he approved of it. He just said he thought everyone was capable of it, that it was kind of like a natural human instinct. Something about Liam. There was that whole band connection, and a bunch of them were... Apparently Ryan tried out for a band that Liam was in with Emma. That never really resolved. Yeah, Ryan definitely seems to have more of a conscience than Paul does. Paul's like pure evil. I feel like Ryan's probably the result of being Paul's son and having that horrible thing as a father. Well, Paul is a sociopath, which are real things. Nothing's coming up with James
Probably
for
be
me.
back later.
I wonder. Alright, I guess let's take another look at Emma.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
So let's see. Recognizes the tape, but isn't sure from where. Doesn't think Simon walked home with Kate Friday. Thinks Kate would be chosen. Shouldn't discuss Atlas. Didn't know about the prime candidate thing.